Welcome everybody, Red Arrow 23 here. Today we're going to be dating another video to the Boom Beach Playbook. Today we are going to be doing the right shield decimation on Torrent. This is the way I like to refer to this hit. Angry Dage is going to show us in Angry Turtles. So let's check it out. Just going to go through the whole hit as we usually do, and then we'll break it down after that. So he's cleared some mines. Just going to grab a couple cells and then we're going to move over. Nice. And now we'll flare up, get into their zone, adding the hero. Then let's slow it down. Here we go. No peek, I like it. Flash kill. And then we're going to move into that spot. Fast forward through the smoke. And there we go. Going to make quick work of all of these rocket launchers. Protecting himself from the Doom Cannon with the critters, I like it. And then we're just going to move over and clean up. One shock. Good doits. Gedugen. So there we go. And then he's going to be adding the last boat of Zookas. Adding a bunch of cells, and then you can go in for the Doom Cannons and shield generators. Speed it up. Another shock, another critters. Just going to clean them out. I like it. Pretty long replay this one, so we're going to have to try and not take too long on the breakdown, or it's going to be a super long video. So here we go, taking out the shield generators, top one and bottom. And that is time. Boom. Alright, so let's break it down. Dave's doing a pretty good job here. As you can see, as soon as we start this replay, it's bang on 4 minutes and 3 seconds. This is a higher health Torrent. If we look at the statue, you can see there's pretty decent health boost there, and we're on a 292 map, so it's pretty standard. So let's have a look. First things first, we're going to be clearing out these mines and tagging some rocket launchers. So you can see you use one barrage to get rid of all of those mines. Sometimes you get a little bit unlucky. I'm not sure what the odds are, but a barrage is usually better if instead of 2 arts where you can do them in the middle of those 9 groups, but then you might leave a mine behind still. This is a level 21 mine. Sometimes it's a sneaky level 22, so just be aware of that. Barrage should help you clear all of those 2-9 groups, and then he's tagged these 3 rocket launchers by the look of it. Is that right? Yeah. Just in the so he's used the middle or the corner between the 2 top ones and between the middle one and the bottom one. So it's nice. So we can remember that when we get into the rest of the hit. He's going to drop his boats slightly staggered over on the left hand side for these 2 power cells, and then he's going to flare over. So he's only launched 7 boats of Zookas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then he's going to be flaring over. So he's already got the cells on the left, but he can also now get the cells on the right. The main reason for this, I believe, is so that he can then, once he flares up, he can delay the drop of the hero, which is really helpful. So now the flare's gone up and brick is added. I want to get that smoke out nice and early. We want to keep the delay on this one. And you'll notice that when you walk up this, from basically that flare to that hero boat, is all along these power cells. It's one perfect line. So make sure you remember that when you're laying your smoke and you're doing that flare. Make sure it's right in the middle, and you know that they're going to split all of those power cells so you can smoke appropriately. Once we get into this position, the reason we needed to keep that delay is because we're about to do a flash kill, and if you don't have the delay, you're not going to be able to do the flash kill. So you always need to have a backup plan. your backup plan is usually just going to be you're going to have to shock a whole bunch of stuff. Or you can do like a critter and a shock. But usually you just have to shock everything and just make the most out of it. In this case, if you haven't lost the delay, you can flare onto the rocket launcher, or if you don't need to tag the rocket launchers on the right or whatever, you can have these rocket launchers, you can tag that rocket launcher, and then the Zukas will automatically target that. Yes, you did tag a little bit from the barrage, but usually a stray rocket from the barrage clearing out those mines isn't going to tag more than one single arch, because it does a lot more direct damage. So then we go. He's going to send that next flare out. With that next flare, if you imagine this is this empty spot that the rocket launcher's left is 3x3 cells, he's looking at putting it in the 3 o'clock cell, so the one closest to the power, the damage amplifier. And then he's biasing that smoke slightly over to the right, but there's no gap in between, so he's not going to lose any Zukas, so I like it. The reason he wants to get as far over to the right as possible is so he can work on these rocket launchers that we've already tagged first. So some Zukas aren't going to be in range, so you can see that they're facing off to the left where the other tagged defense is. And we've just gone with straight one shock on the Doom cannons, one shock on these rocket launchers, and one shock on these rocket launchers over on the left. We are in the dead zone of these 4 rocket launchers that were around, so that's awesome. First shock starting to run out, and we're using critters for the right side and a re-critter on the left side. So his Doom cannons, we don't want their splash damage getting in there because our Zukas are all nice and grouped. So we're using those to distract, and then as soon as all of those rocket launchers are done, we can move over to the dead zone of the 2 closest rocket launchers now, but the far one's going to be in range as well as with a machine gun, so we're going to hit that with one simple shock, and then we're going to take it out, focusing only on the rocket launchers here, and then we can flare down and add our 8th boat, which we didn't launch at the beginning. Main purpose of this part is because we're running pretty low on GBE now. You need to keep your eye on the clock, because by this time he's only got another minute left in his hit. And then as soon as we have the GBE and we're running out of time, we can head on over, flare right next to that first Doom cannon with a shock, and then you can follow that up with critters or a shock if you have it available. But the critters do a good job. It wouldn't have worked from the beginning because you Zukas would have been so close to that first Doom cannon, but as soon as that went down, critters are going to work a charm. And then obviously we want one of the objectives of this hit, now that we've cleared out the defenses, is to clear out these shield generators. That's the main part of the hit, is to get rid of the shield generators. But we are also preparing for that core rush, which will be probably in the 3 o'clock position. That's the main reason that we'll be doing a clear like this. And remember that he's going to have to flare each shield because otherwise we're just going to target anything that is closest. And the reason he's doing that is because he's running out of time, and also leaving a few items on this right hand side is actually really helpful to the core rusher. They can just go in and just collect as much GBE as they need, because the next hit is just going to be taking out those 2 shield generators, not touching this right side at all, maybe clearing a shock or something like that. But the main purpose was to get through all of those steps that we got through before, and then we're just throwing GBE to clear mines in that 3 o'clock position. You see cleared out a few. So let's have one more look quickly as we go. So remembering to do our barrage to clear out those mines. You can go with arts if you feel more comfortable to use 2 arts to tag all 3 of these rocket launchers. And then we're going for a flag landing out of range of everything, and then we can flare down into the corner. Reason being that we can have the hero drop in behind. It's not a big deal if you want to drop everything on the right hand side straight away. It'll work out fine, and you can flare up. You just don't need to take as many cells. You could even do a flare landing, but I don't suggest it because you got so many anchors on the left on the beach there. So flash kill the first time, and then we're moving that flare over so that we can now focus on the right hand rocket launchers with that previous tag, using 3 shocks followed by 1 shock and 1 critter for the Doom cannons. Once we've done that, we can move over take out the furthest rocket launcher first with one shock, and then just continue taking out the rocket launchers. No need to tag or flare or anything like that here, because they're going to take them out. And then we're just basically just cleaning up. So we want to go and take out those doom cannons, and then we can take out those shields. So that's pretty much this hit in a nutshell. You can see that once we flare over to begin with, we do have to shock, otherwise when we get too close to that doom cannon, it's going to start taking out Zookas. And the key is just to keep as many Zookas alive from the get-go. You can see that he's still got a lot of Zookas, even though it's very late in the hit. So when he's throwing critters, just to prevent the doom cannons from splashing him to death, and then heading over and taking out the shield generators. And now you can see that we're in a pretty good shape just to jump in here and get ready for that rush. Clearing out any of these mines that you can, using whatever you can. If you haven't used too many critters, you probably have, but you can use arts, barrages, all of that. Great hit from Dage. Definitely try that one out to help out your team if you think it's a good idea to wipe out that whole right side. Just watch out for extra rocket launchers that might be in range. Make sure you get all those shocks perfect, and it all sort of hinges on that flash kill. If you can't get that flash kill at the beginning, it might take you more than one hit to do that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and this new addition to the playbook. Be sure to comment down below if you do it any differently and why. And give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach. Yeah.